Alright, so Khamzat Chimaev has a secret weapon in his fight against Dricus Du Plessis. That is correct. That is according to former bantamweight champion of the world, TJ Dillashaw. What is the secret weapon? Well, we know what TJ Dillashaw's secret weapon was back in the day. It was EPO. Hate to say it, TJ, you're a good man, but, you know, you were cheating and you were doing EPO, which helps your cardio. I don't know much about it. All I know about is hard work. And that's what TJ Dillashaw was talking about. He was talking about Khamzat Chimaev linking up with his old conditioning coach, Sam Calavitta, who apparently is some conditioning guru, lives in Yorba Linda, California, which is just about 2 miles that way behind me. It's essentially where I live. So this guy, Sam Calavitta, apparently is a conditioning mastermind. He's trained a lot of great fighters. I think Paulo Costa was training with him as well. I might be mistaken on that, but I know Paulo Costa was training in Yorba Linda. Can't be too many guys in Yorba Linda that's training TJ Dillashaw, Paulo Costa, and now Khamzat Chimaev. Now, you might have seen the footage of Khamzat Chimaev online. He's on the exercise bike. He's going like crazy. He's got a bunch of people around him all cheering him on and singing and dancing and going, yeah, come on, Khamzat, let's go. Look, listen, if you need that, great. But a lot of people are self-motivated. Khamzat obviously isn't one of those people, but it doesn't matter. If you're willing to put the work in, that's all that really matters. Here's what TJ Dillashaw had to say. He said, I met him, Khamzat, and I introduced him to this guy, Sam Calavitta. So Chimaev is doing it right now, and I highly suspect that he's going to have an amazingly better gas tank for his next fight, and I think he's going to win because of it. He's going to make the weight better, which in turn is going to make his cardio better, and he's going to train the right way. Now, we all know Khamzat Chimaev is a force of nature. We all know what he does inside the first round. Crush the teeth of Robert Whittaker, ragdolls most people, carries Li Jingliang while talking to Dana White. The man's a force of nature, and we also know that when it gets to rounds 2 and 3, he does start to fade, okay? You know about the fight with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. We don't need to go into all of that stuff. However, what I do respect about Khamzat Chimaev is that this man doesn't pace himself. I don't think he could pace himself if he wants to try. He just wants to kill everybody. And I absolutely love that about the guy. However, this is a 5-round fight. And I don't think he's going to be able to go out there and do to the champion, Dricus Du Plessis, what he has done to some other people. Of course, couldn't do it to Kamaru Usman. Couldn't do it to Gilbert Burns. Probably won't be able to do it to Dricus Du Plessis. However, the bookies don't care. Khamzat Chimaev is a 2-1 favorite coming into this one, which is insane.
This is #1 bullshit.
That is very disrespectful to Dricus Du Plessis, and I'm sure that's only motivating him and making sure that he comes in the best shape of his life. As we know, Dricus used to have some cardio issues back in the day. Apparently, got a nose job. He couldn't breathe properly. He got those issues fixed, and the cardio's fine. He has no problem going 5 rounds against Sean Strickland. However, the pace that Sean Strickland fights at is not the pace that Khamzat Chimaev fights at. Now, he's been training with Sam Calavitta, who has been pushing the threshold of the cardio. TJ Dillashaw's calling it a secret weapon. There is no secret here. It's just hard work. TJ's talking about being in the red zone, and the more often you're in the red zone, your lungs and your heart gets used to it. That is absolutely true. But there's no secret. It's just good old-fashioned hard work. Simple as that. If you want to get better at something, you've got to suffer. If you want to lose weight, you've got to suffer because you're not going to have the foods that you like. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be peckish. You're going to feel miserable. You're going to feel like you're suffering. If you want to get better at cardio, you got to suffer, buddy. Just like Callum, my son, he's probably going to have a fight soon. We went for a run this afternoon. His cardio is getting better. It's improving, but I'm pushing him to the limit saying, come on, son, keep up with me. You got to go run up this hill. He's like, and he's out of breath. I'm like, yeah. You've got to suffer. If you want to make your cardio better, you have to be in that condition where you're panting, you're gasping for air.
This is how you get a better athlete. You push yourself to the absolute fucking limit.
Where it's miserable and you are literally suffering. When you're suffering, your body gets used to that and then you can perform at a higher rate. I'm sure there's much better scientific ways of putting it. But basically, if you're willing to put the fucking work in, you'll get better. Whatever it is in life, if you want to get better, you've got to suffer. It's as simple as that. And if Khamzat Chimaev is putting the work in, and it looks like he is, and by all accounts, according to TJ Dillashaw, he's putting the work in.
I highly suspect he's going to have an amazing gas tank for this next fight, and I think he's going to get the win because of it.
According to TJ Dillashaw, he's got a secret weapon. We all know what TJ Dillashaw's secret weapon was back in the day, don't we? Not talking shit about TJ, but he did pop. He did get suspended for EPO, which is a drug. I don't know too much about it. Apparently, gives you increased cardiovascular ability. Makes you a better athlete, if you will. TJ Dillashaw popped off for that one, okay? And I don't think he saw that coming. He got suspended, I think it was 2 years. And he never really rebounded after that. And I'm not talking about TJ Dillashaw. That's just the facts. And when he says he's got a secret weapon, I couldn't resist throwing that one in there because he set me up too good. However, Khamzat Chimaev, I don't think he's going to take steroids. I don't think he needs steroids. I don't think he needs performance-enhancing drugs. This man is a force of nature, as I said before. He's incredible. And if he can get the cardio to where it needs to be, to where he can push a hard pace for 5 rounds, then Dricus Du Plessis might just be in some trouble here. We might have a new champion. We know that Dricus is going to take it to him. He said he's going to fight him at his own game. He's not going to run away. He's not going to cower away from the wrestling challenge because he's going to get you eventually.
Yeah, I'll just out-wrestle him. Yeah, that's a game plan.
And that's what Khamzat does to everyone. So he's going to meet him head on and he's going to force a pace. He's going to see if he really has been doing the work because Dricus is going to push it. He's a big, strong, athletic guy. He's got a serious will to win. He's got the will of a champion. He's got knockout power. He's got great jiu-jitsu. I don't know why everyone calls him so awkward and offbeat rhythm and all the rest of it. The man is extremely effective. Look at the way he knocked out Robert Whittaker. Speaking of people that beat Robert Whittaker. So Khamzat Chimaev needs to have a secret weapon because in the past, he has slowed down. And as I said before, I love that about Khamzat. He isn't going to change. This is the way that he fights, okay? You can't change it. It's just in his DNA. The man is an absolute animal. He says that he wants to kill everyone, being a little bit silly, but he does. Right? And that's why we love him. And that's why we tune in. And that's why this fight is going to be phenomenal. Because will he be able to go out there and dominate Dricus Du Plessis? Because if he can, then I don't see anybody taking this belt of Khamzat Chimaev anytime soon. And for Dricus Du Plessis, if this man can beat Khamzat Chimaev, if he can finally eradicate the bogeyman, the wolf, the person that not everyone's scared of, but it's like he was kind of like been lurking around in the division for a very long time now, whether it was welterweight or middleweight. We knew a title fight was in this man's future, okay? The way that he burst onto the scene, knocking people out really quickly, submitting them, doing it in style, okay? He became a big star very, very quickly. The way that he finished people really captured the imaginations of everyone. And, you know, he's got a different look to him and he's Chechen and all the rest of it, you know. He's an interesting guy. He's not the average dude, okay? Khamzat Chimaev is must-watch TV when he's in the octagon, when he's outside of the octagon. I do interviews with him and they get almost 1 million views. People are captivated by this man. And Dricus Du Plessis has got one hell of a fight on his hands. I'll never forget that night we were in Vegas. Yeah. It scared me to death. You're a crazy driver.
Yeah, man. So when 2 guys together, both is crazy.
I know.
Like, we're doing crazy things.
Oh my God.
Now, the fact that he's the 2-1 underdog, I don't know if I agree with that. Now, I understand that Khamzat's going to be a very dangerous threat early. However, you can't be a marathon runner and a sprinter at the same time. Khamzat Chimaev is a sprinter, okay? Whereas other people have more of a style to go longer. Look at some of the most explosive fighters on the roster, okay? They're amazing in the first round. Conor McGregor, for crying out loud. He didn't have the best gas tank going over 5 rounds, but in the first round, holy shit, you were in a lot of trouble. I'm trying to think of some other examples. Vitor Belfort, first and second rounds, he was an issue for everybody. You drag him to deep water if you could do that. If he wasn't on all the steroids under the sun, if you could do that, then obviously he started to slow down. So Khamzat Chimaev, I just think he's built a certain way. But if Dricus Du Plessis can drag him out to the later rounds, I still think it favours Dricus. And the fact that Khamzat is a 2-1 favourite is crazy. Anyway, I'm flying off to Thailand, so I've got to get going. What do you think about this secret weapon? Do you think Khamzat's cardio will be drastically improved? And what do you think about Khamzat being a 2-1 favourite over a defending champion? Let me know all your thoughts on those topics. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell. See you soon.